Hello and welcome to Charlesgate TV. We're back here with P.T. Vineburgh. I'm Michael DiMella, and hello and welcome to this week's edition. P.T., what's going on?
Not much, Mike. What's happening?
Not much.
Just loving the Indian summer.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? The weather is gorgeous.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
If you can only stay like this, you get your tropical vitamin water and everything.
Yeah, I actually strategically placed this. We're doing a product spot for Cocoa.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, they haven't officially signed on yet, but
yeah.
I'm hoping with the hits we'll get on this, that we'll be able to maybe get free supply. Yeah. It's actually pretty good stuff. I don't know if you've had it yet.
I've actually never had it.
15 times more electrolytes than in their standard sports drink.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You doing a lot of working out these days for the electrolytes?
No, I'm just kind of hoping like this will work out for me. I don't have to drink enough of that stuff, you know. I don't know. It's good. Solid stuff.
That's great.
I recommend it.
So what's going on in the real estate market?
A lot of stuff going on these days. Yeah. There's some interesting trends going on in the sales market of late. With we'll talk about some of the overall activity level, some of the prevalence of cash in this market, which is up a little bit, and then there's some kind of cool apartment developments that are finally getting going here in Boston. So
yeah, I think if we look back at the last 3 months, or the Q3 this year versus last year, sales were up 13% in Massachusetts this year compared to last year. So that's a nice little uptick. Not necessarily surprising, I don't think, but it's good to see the market sort of being stable. Prices have been actually stable, completely stable, up or down less than 0.5%. So really no change in prices.
Yeah.
But sales volume has picked up for Q3. So
which is nice, because it's kind of been a trend over the past couple of years where sales volume's really been hurting a little bit, and prices, depending on the area, have sort of fluctuated more or less. Like in the city they've been up a little bit, and other parts they've been down, but pretty stable, and it's nice to see an uptick in activity for sure, because it's been.
Well, I think the interesting thing, if you look at the annual stats over the past 2 years and the first part of this year as well, prices have been actually stable, and the sales volume, interestingly enough, has been almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
At least in the greater Boston area over the past 3 years. So the last 3 years have been, some of the sales have happened earlier in the year because of the tax credit, or less later in the year without the tax credit, depending on different scenarios. That's why you saw some of that early half of this year look bad compared to the previous year, because there were many more sales in the first half of the year versus the last half because of when the tax credit expired.
Yeah.
So you see that sort of fluctuation, from month to month and quarter to quarter. But when you actually look at the broader perspective, the annual sales and pricing, it's been basically like 3 years in a row, just like sort of repeat, interestingly enough. So, but it sort of shows stability in the market too here, which is good. Obviously, mortgage rates being absurdly low has helped recently as well. But even with that, though, as you mentioned earlier, that that more buyers this year are paying cash than they have been before.
Yeah.
So we've seen that this year, about 30 or 33% of buyers this year in Massachusetts are actually paying cash, compared to last year. The last couple of years was more like 20 or 25%. So there's been an uptick in that, which is interesting.
What are you attributing that to?
Well, I think there's a couple. I mean, pretty much a lot of the foreclosure properties that are out there, although it's not a huge number of them, but all those are, not all of them, but a lot of those are cash deals to investors. It's easier. I think a lot of people in the higher end market are also bringing cash to the table rather than keeping it in the stock market, which is bouncing around and going crazy.
Yeah,
you get
volatility there.
You get almost a better return in real estate, whether it's an investment property or a home. You get a pretty. They look at real estate as a good long-term investment rather than dealing with the volatility in the stock market. I think those are two reasons for sure that are good. Also, we're seeing, as rent prices go up, I think we're seeing more people look to sort of, or parents buying condos and things for their kids too, which is a lot of those are in cash as well.
Yeah.
So rather than having the kids, spend money on rent, maybe they're actually paying the parents' rent. Maybe they're not, maybe they are, but a lot of those deals are cash deals as well.
Depends how much your parents like you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's nice to have parents going to buy you a condo to live in, or well, you go to college or after college or whatever.
That's great.
But we do see quite a bit of that.
Now, when you were in your parents' basement, did they charge you rent?
I had to pay rent for that. Yeah, that was an unfortunate time in my life. It was really.
I'm back in my parents' basement, so they're actually letting me live rent free.
Rent free,
which is nice. Yeah.
Just supply them with vitamin water.
Vita Coco, actually.
Yeah, right. Coconut water.
The vitamin water is too high in sugar. It doesn't have the.
I wasn't really paying attention to the side of the box there.
They're sponsoring us.
Sorry, Vita Coco. But anyway, that's good. So that's great. You got a nice parents that let you live in their basement.
Nice setup. Nice setup.
That's
good. Laundry done too. It's great. Yeah,
it's a great deal. Yeah. Well, but besides that, the market's been sort of stable and up and interesting. You know, again, it's sort of different than what you sort of see in the news when they try to. Every sort of newspaper article tries to get really crazy about changes that happen, you know, weekly and monthly. But that stuff is relatively insignificant when you look at the bigger picture of the annual prices and sales volume. So I mean, it matters if you're putting your home on the market right now, maybe, and different things on what's going on or buying right now. But overall, if you're a homeowner or have bought or even thinking of buying over the this year or going forward, I think when you look at the bigger trends, it really is more enlightening.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you just alluded to it before, but you're talking about the rental market and how competitive that is, and that's what's driving a lot of some of the activity as well on the sales side. Finally, some new apartments coming out of the ground.
Which is good, much needed. Clearly the rental market's going kind of crazy. Obviously with fewer buyers out there, there's more renters. The job market's been relatively stable around here, so people still need places to live. If they're not buying, they're renting. It's been putting a huge strain on the rental inventory. It's been no new development for years now. So
I was at we're putting a condo on the market this week, and I was over there just like an hour ago, and the guy we were talking, and he was kind of saying how he just kind of started poking around at some rentals just in case he was going to stay up here after his place sells, which of course will sell it. But he was like, he's now like almost, he was joking, but he's like, I think I just might stay here. There's nothing to rent, And he actually said he wants to shift gears and look with a buyer agent because he just couldn't find anything to rent quality-wise was going to cost him just as much, if not more, than what he's in right now.
In a lot of cases, given the mortgage rates, and depending on what you're looking at, buying right now, if you have the down payment and get stable employment, qualify for a loan, can be cheaper than renting right now.
It doesn't have to be cash.
It doesn't have to be cash. That's right. So it's good to see those buildings. Avalon's putting up the new building at the Prudential, which is close to 200 units there. Kensington's just broke ground on the building near Downtown Crossing, which is like 375 or 380 units there.
Yeah. Another project there too.
A couple more breaking ground in Downtown Crossing as well, which is nice to see that area starting to really kind of spring up with new development. Obviously, the Back Bay is sort of developed, but there's still a few spots, so not many. That's one of them that can be developed.
Yeah, so that's going to be a nice addition.
So add some units. I don't think it's those buildings are both sort of deemed luxury apartments, so I don't know how much that's going to do to bring down pricing, but it's good to have that inventory anyway, that selection available for people, and hopefully that will be good to bring some more.
Yeah, and then I went to that thing last week in the Seaport. There's about 1,500 units on tap there.
A lot of developments there right now. Going on to break ground, a lot of breaking ground soon. So hopefully that will get underway.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of interesting things going on. I mean, almost every single apartment and every single project right now is apartments. Apartments are needed, but I think we're going to start needing condos soon too. Reasonably priced condos.
Yeah.
The high-end condo market was sort of saturated with some of those new developments at 45 Province, the Clarendon, the W. Sort of saturated that high-end market for condos. But if we can bring some reasonably priced condos on the market, that could be great. Some stuff we wrote about, like Charing Cross in Brighton, which is a condo project, and hopefully we'll get kicked off soon. Reasonably priced, $400,000 and $500,000 units.
Yeah.
So there is definitely some stuff in the pipeline that hopefully will, as the economy sort of continues to improve and get things going, and hopefully things will loosen up when people start making decisions as they see the market sort of is what it is.
Yeah.
It's been stable here, especially stable. Pricing's been stable. Sales have been stable. Down.
The mortgage rate forecast is still remain pretty low for a little while.
Yeah, rates aren't going to go in here for a little while probably, so there'll be good opportunities for buyers to pick up long-term debt for really, really, really cheap. So it's a good opportunity in regard for that too. If you're going to be at home for a while, to lock in rates like that in the 4s, or even it would dip lower than 4 for a 30-year fix, which is absurd. So Anyway, also, so that's sort of the market. The last thing, just to update everyone on, hopefully you're watching this on our brand new website at charlesgaterealty.com. Definitely a lot of cool features there, I think, besides searching for properties and obviously all the sort of standard stuff. We also have a great blog with lots of updated stats and info and advice and buying, selling, renting, landlords, wherever the case may be. There's lots of stuff there. We also have forums, discussion forums, which are really cool. I think where people can come and you can write your comments, post, and collaborate with us, but also with other people who are in the market to buy or sell or other homeowners. So definitely check out the forums on the site under the Talk tab in the menu. And we also have these videos, obviously, and a number of other videos.
Great resources.
Yeah, our Boston Resource Library, which has a lot of good resources, webinars, other broadcasts. Definitely check it out. You know, I think that was it's enough for the commercial for today, but.
Well, between the website and the Vita Coco, I mean, we
have too many sponsors.
We're selling out. I feel like we're on wings around.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. We have definitely too many sponsors, maybe for one episode at least. So anyway, but check out the website for sure. Hopefully, you can throw a couple comments on the blog or throw a few questions in the discussion forums, and we'll be glad to chat and connect with you that way. But otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Charlesgate TV. Thanks, PT.
All right, thanks, Mike.
See you guys.